Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the Victoria ISD is holding its first meeting with new superintendent. A look at what's on the agenda.
New details in the arrest of 2 Victoria parents accused of leaving 3 young children alone.
Plus, Governor Abbott launches a new campaign aimed at curbing illegal border crossings.
Lots of folks going to be traveling as soon as tomorrow or maybe even today, but everything is looking pretty good across the state of Texas. We'll be talking about some cool, chilly mornings, but sunny, mild days. All that in just a moment.
And the Ganado Indians, they made some history winning the 2A Division I state title versus the Stanford Bulldogs. We'll highlight this coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker.
We are learning more about 2 parents arrested for allegedly leaving 3 young children home alone. According to arrest reports, police got an anonymous call about kids ages 5, 2, and 7 months left unsupervised in an apartment in the 8900 block of North Navarro. When officers arrived, they talked to one child at the door, saw another walking in the apartment, and found a crying infant in a bedroom. The apartment was described as messy, unkept, and unsafe. The parents, 21-year-old Christina Bonda and 24-year-old Damian Pyle, returned shortly after, claiming they had, quote, just left. They later admitted to being gone for at least 25 minutes, according to the reports. Bonda and Pyle were arrested on 3 child endangerment charges each. The children are now with family as the investigation continues. Bonda and Pyle both remain in the Victoria County Jail.
The Victoria ISD Board of Trustees is holding its first meeting with new Superintendent Sheila Collazo tonight. They are discussing and taking action on the authorized account signer and administrator for all Prosperity Bank accounts. That's a live look right now at the meeting. They're also looking at approving new middle and high school courses for the 2025 to 2026 school year and reviewing level 3 parent grievances with possible action. The meeting is taking place at the Victoria ISD Administration Building. Wednesday night at about 6, Victoria police officers responded to the intersection of U.S. Highway 59 North at Hanselman Road. Police report a 2013 Toyota driven by 31-year-old Noel Martinez failed to yield the right-of-way at the stop sign. That caused his vehicle to strike a 2018 Ram driven by 44-year-old Austin Linville. The Toyota was pulling a trailer which had a gas tank that spilled over onto the road. TxDOT responded and cleaned the area. A passenger in the Toyota was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A 2-vehicle wreck happened this morning. A gray Chevy truck was in the left turn lane, turning into the Walmart parking lot at 4001 Houston Highway. As he made his turn, a gray Chevy Suburban ran a red light and hit the front end of the truck. The driver of the Suburban had minor non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to the hospital. The truck driver was not hospitalized and had minor injuries. The intersection was closed for about an hour. Traffic was backed up half a mile to Ben Wilson Street. The Ganado Indians are state champions.
Yes, the football team won a nail-biter today at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Sports director Max Williams joins us now with more. Max.
Yeah, that's right, Don and Shawna. Again, big history was made there for the Ganado Indians, then winning their first state title there again in school history. Again, getting that first title there was tough, though. They won there in triple overtime there versus the Stanford Bulldogs. They're 30-28, as you can see there through some of the video there. Look at that with the coach holding up there the trophy, holding up also, again, the jersey as well there. Again, a lot of fans showed out because, again, at the end of the day, it was a big interception on a 2-point play from, again, the quarterback and also defensive back there, Bryce Oldman. So just stay tuned for later. We'll give you more highlights. Again, maybe also, again, Josh Irvin's response there after the game as well. But for now, let's toss it back to you, Don and Sean.
I think the whole town of Ganado was there. It's awesome for them to see.
Last check, population 1,975. Congratulations to all of you. All right. The state closed an oyster harvest area in Lavaca Bay this week. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department closed the area to commercial and recreational oyster harvesting. The closure is based on samples recently collected by Texas Parks and Wildlife showing a low amount of legal-sized oysters. Only 8 out of 28 harvest areas in the state remain open for public harvest, though some private oyster leases remained in bays that are otherwise closed for public harvest.
Now let's take a first look at your weather forecast. Here is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. And Mac, it's hard to believe that the official start of winter is, what, 2 days away?
Exactly. On Saturday is the first day of winter, and 2 days ago we were 85. So yeah, but things are a little cooler, a little nicer. Tonight we're dropping down into the 40s, as you can see right about there. It's going to be chilly mornings, but sunny, mild days through the weekend. And then we've got some clouds coming in just before Christmas. So we'll take a look at that coming up in just a moment. Back to you.
Mike, thank you. Hey, we had a great time ringing the bell for the Salvation Army last Saturday. Shawna did it and some other of our people. It was great. With only 4 days left of this year's bell ringing campaign, the Salvation Army of Victoria is behind the Red Kettle fundraising goal for this year. The annual Red Kettle campaign is the Salvation Army's primary fundraiser of the year. The Salvation Army's Red Kettle fundraising goal this year is $70,000. The Salvation Army bells will continue to ring outside stores through Christmas Eve, and the Salvation Army still needs bell ringers.
The guardian of a Robb Elementary shooting victim gets escorted out of court before a pretrial hearing for two former school officers facing child endangerment charges. After what seemed like a confrontation with authorities, Brett Cross and his wife got removed from the Uvalde County Justice Center. Though not taken into custody, Cross later posted on social media claiming sheriff's deputies assaulted them and denied entry. Cross was the guardian of one of the victims in the 2022 shooting. Former school police chief Pete Arredondo and Officer Adrian Gonzalez have pled not guilty to the charges.
In San Antonio, a man charged with murder and his wife's disappearance appeared in court Thursday. Brad Simpson was there for a bond modification hearing. The judge granted a request to let his 15-year-old son write him letters. Suzanne Simpson vanished in October. The mother of four has not been found. A neighbor told police he saw the couple in a physical altercation outside of their home the day before the woman was reported missing. He said he went outside to check on them and heard screaming coming from a wooded area. Simpson was first arrested and then charged with family violence. He was later charged with murder after the investigation revealed more evidence. Simpson is being held on a $3 million bond. Texas' latest effort to stop migrants is a billboard campaign in Mexico and Central America. Governor Greg Abbott announced the new strategy, which will cost an estimated $100,000 during a news conference in Eagle Pass. The billboards include messages about sexual assault and Texas border enforcement efforts. The governor said the state started erecting the billboards this week. The billboards have messages in several languages, including Chinese, Russian, and Spanish.
As Republican Texas leaders show support for Trump's mass deportation plans, undocumented people, some who have lived in America for decades, are weighing their options amid mounting fears. To read the full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com.
The U.S. is once again facing a potential government shutdown.
House members are scheduled to return to work out a plan, but the clock is ticking. John Lawrence reports.
Let me talk briefly about the funding of the government.
The threat of a potential government shutdown is hovering over Washington, D.C., and the clock is ticking.
We can avoid a shutdown. It'd be a very inopportune time to have a government shutdown.
Friday, December 20th is the deadline for Congress to keep the government funded, and the bipartisan bill House Speaker Mike Johnson negotiated this week is being scrapped.
We're still having conversations with our members, with a lot of other folks too, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, but we are still talking about some good ideas.
The decision to start all over came after President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance issued a joint statement blasting the proposal, saying, quote, Republicans must get smart and tough.
House Republicans have now unilaterally decided to break a bipartisan agreement that they made.
Meanwhile, the White House said in a statement, Republicans were playing politics over the funding issue.
House Republicans will now own any harm that is visited upon the American people that results from a government shutdown or worse. An agreement is an agreement.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell, and then you can watch us 24 hours a day and catch up on all your news on YouTube. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, the suspect in the murder of United Healthcare's CEO is back in New York after waiving extradition.
Also ahead, the Teamster Union launches a major strike against Amazon. What this means for delivery times as the holidays arrive.
Welcome back. The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York is now back in that city, facing a slew of additional charges.
Luigi Mangione's defense team may claim New York authorities are overreaching on some counts, and one legal expert says that may be correct by design.
Luigi Mangione made his initial court appearance in New York this afternoon, where he faces a number of charges related to the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He arrived in the Empire State shortly after noon Eastern on a small aircraft, accompanied by several law enforcement agents. He was quickly transferred to an NYPD helicopter for the final leg into the city. Hours earlier, he appeared before a Pennsylvania judge on state weapons and forgery charges there and to finalize his transfer, while a few advocates gathered outside.
We wanted to use this moment to advocate for healthcare changes and hopefully, make some positive goals with all of this situation.
Now in New York, Mangione faces more state and federal charges, including murder through use of a firearm, stalking, and terrorism.
That very high charge provides a lot of room for the prosecutors to negotiate a plea bargain because it's a charge that they could essentially walk away from in return for his, let's say, guilty plea to second-degree murder or something along those lines.
One key piece of evidence noted in the federal filing, Mangione's own written details of the alleged crime.
He said, you'll find the planning and the to-do lists and the other elements in the spiral notebook, which they make reference to in this federal complaint.
High-profile defense attorney Karen Friedman-Agnifilo will represent Mangione as the New York cases move forward. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Southwest Airlines is cleared in an FAA safety review of incidents. The FAA did not find any major safety issues in a review of Dallas-based Southwest that was opened in July and is now completed. The review was prompted by a series of high-profile incidents that raised serious concerns. The FAA began the safety review after a Southwest plane in July flew at a very low altitude over Florida. That incident was quickly followed by several others that went viral on social media circles.
American Airlines settles its race discrimination lawsuit stemming from a January flight from Phoenix to New York City. 3 black passengers were removed from that flight at the request of white flight attendants. The plaintiffs said that they were told to leave the plane after a complaint of a passenger's body odor. The lawsuit accused the airline of engaging in racial profiling and discrimination. Fort Worth-based American fired the flight attendants responsible for the incident.
With just 6 days to go before Christmas, can you believe it? Yes, it's true. One of the country's largest unions is encouraging thousands of Amazon drivers and workers to go on strike. This could impact your packages arriving on time.
Right now, though, Amazon says it does not expect any operational changes. ABC's Zoreen Shaw has the story.
In every corner of the country today, Amazon workers on strike from New York to Illinois to Georgia and California. The Teamsters Union launching the largest strike against the biggest online retailer in the world.
We're working and doing these jobs and, sacrificing our bodies, and we're not even getting a livable wage to live in the cities for the city that we provide our service for.
Tense scenes this morning between workers who were blocking streets and police at an Amazon warehouse in New York City. The union says it's a push for higher wages, better benefits, and safer working conditions.
We're asking them to come to the table with us, and we're asking them to work with us because there are safety concerns within the warehouse. There's no job security within the warehouse right now, and there are little to no benefits in the warehouse right now for us to be able to take care of our families.
The Teamsters say they represent 10,000 Amazon drivers and warehouse workers. That's less than 1% of Amazon's workforce. Amazon pushing back on Teamsters' action, saying the Teamsters have actively threatened, intimidated, and attempted to coerce Amazon employees and third-party drivers to join them, which is illegal.
Nobody's been threatened, nobody's been coerced.
Amazon claims the strikers are not all Amazon workers.
Look what we drive. You see the vans passing by, you see the uniforms that most of us are in that aren't on the picking line but are driving. We're Amazon gear, we work for Amazon, we deliver Amazon packages.
The Teamsters Union says if your package is delayed during the holidays, you can blame Amazon's insatiable greed. Amazon today said it does not expect the strike to affect its deliveries. Soaring Shop, ABC News, Los Angeles.
So this brings us to our viewer poll. Are you concerned about the Amazon strike affecting package delivery during the holidays? Very concerned, somewhat concerned, or not at all? We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And 85% of you so far are not at all concerned. You feel that you're going to get your packages on time for all of your Christmas celebrations or whatever you're needing your order for. So
hope you're right.
I hope so. Yeah, I've got several on the way, so I hope so too. But continue voting, and we'll have the latest results tonight on 25 News now at 10.
This is the most wonderful time of the year, especially if you get your packages, and we want to see how you're slaying it. Share your holiday magic with us by sending in your best festive photos. We'll feature them on our social media accounts every day until Christmas week. Head to crossroadstoday.com and start submitting. From the Philippine Sea, Ordnance Man First Class Cody Soto of Goliad conducts a pre-flight check on an MH-60S Seahawk assigned to the Black Knights of Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron. Now that's 4 on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson during a mission with the dry cargo and ammunition ship Richard E. Byrd. Vinson, the flagship of Carrier Strike Group 1, is doing routine operations in the U.S. 7th Fleet area of operations. There's a future military hero, man.
There you go. Good evening, everybody. We got some cool nights, or chilly mornings actually, and some very mild days. Right now we're at 65 degrees. The winds are fairly calm, but they'll be out of the north again tomorrow, and they'll be a little bit stronger. That's why we're expecting temperatures maybe drop a little bit. Got up to 74 this afternoon after 44 morning low, and that was actually kind of where we're supposed to be at this time of year. We'll take a look at the next 7 days because Christmas is within that forecast. So we'll be talking more about that in a moment. Well, lots of people traveling for the next few days, and we're going to take a look at the big picture across Texas. We had that north wind that settled down, and that's what brought us the cool weather this morning. But we're going to get another one, basically a reinforcing north wind, which is going to continue our cool, chilly mornings and our sunny, mild days. But then we take a look at the big picture because everybody wants to know what's happening. Well, not everybody, but some of you will be traveling. We've got a snowstorm rolling through the Midwest right now. It'll be in the Ohio Valley for tomorrow. Texas will be in lovely weather right on through the weekend, but there is some stuff on the other side. We are looking at 46 tonight, getting up to 70 tomorrow, 38 on Saturday morning, getting up to 65 and 44. Getting up to 72 on Sunday. By Monday, we should see a little bit of cloud cover roll back in because by then the sea breeze will come back in. There you see the low temperatures around the 50-degree mark down along the coast, but everybody inland is looking at about 40, 45, 46 degrees. It's not until you get to the hill country that they're going to be below freezing. And tomorrow, another beautiful day, lots of sun. The north wind will kick in overnight. It'll be a little breezy, but that will keep us, shall we say, on the cool and dry side of everything. So if you're traveling through, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, things are looking good. Monday, we start picking up a little moisture and maybe some rain. So let's talk about that. This is your Friday forecast. Then we go to Saturday, it all blows down into the Gulf. And then we are looking for Sunday. That's when we get the return flow. The return flow means the Gulf air starts rolling back in. And since it's going over cooler land, it's going to be giving us that low, dense cloud cover. And that leads us to a little bit of drizzle and rain. Nothing substantial, but just kind of damp like it was a couple of days ago. Now, this is the big picture for the next 7 days. Okay, this is important. Now, Texas doing well Friday and Saturday. Saturday, you see right about there, the snowstorm that's in Chicago goes through the east and then rolls out. The Pacific Northwest is getting hammered by a big Pacific storm that's going to drop down even into Southern California, and that's on Sunday. Now, as far as we're concerned, what we're going to get is that return flow. That's going to give us a little moisture, a little drizzle, maybe a little light rain. And then on Tuesday night, which is Christmas Eve, we'll have a sort of a frontal system. It'll go through here, but then it'll clear out. And for Christmas Day, we've got nice sunny weather. It'll be also a little chillier because we've got some snow here in the Rockies. Of course, this becomes a big mess for everybody else, but as far as we're concerned, we're going to be doing good. Snow and ice as we get to the early part of, well, this is like 7, 8 days from now. And this particular storm is going to slide into North Texas and give them a little bit of cold weather. Here are the current temperatures across the state. We'll take a look at your day planner for tomorrow in Port Lavaca. Lots of sunshine, getting up to about 70 degrees. That north wind will kick in and get a little bit stronger tomorrow. 70 the high in Cuero. And as you can see, lovely weather for, well, the first day of winter, which is on Saturday. Sunday, we pick up the clouds. Little moisture, little dampness on Tuesday, but clearing skies just in time for Christmas Day. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone, and here's Shawna.
All right, thank you, Mac. Well, now we send it over to Max Williams for sports, and lots of people cheering in Ganado right now.
Yeah, they having a party out there in Ganado tonight because they won the 2A Division I state championship versus the Stanford Bulldogs there. Arrows up there for Ganado. Again, but how did they get the job done? We'll have a post-game report there from sports reporter Ray Robinson. We'll also look back at Shiner's close championship call. We get all that coming back up in sports. All right, everyone. Earlier, you probably heard me talking about the Ganado Indians winning their first state title there in school history, beating the Stanford Bulldogs there 30-28. But how did Ganado get that history earlier? So we have one of our reporters in 25 News now there in Ray Robinson was at the game to highlight Ganado's historic moment.
Max, we might have witnessed one of the best Class 2A Division I football game state championships in history. And no, that is not an overstatement. Anytime a game can go to 3 overtimes, it's definitely going to be one for the ages. And in a state championship game, what can your expectations be? Ganado might have met their match when dealing with a team like Stanford. The back and forth exchange between touchdowns all game long, both teams seeming to be well balanced. Lowen Burris helped initiate the first drive that Ganado needed with this 72-yard run. The Russian offense didn't just end there as Bryce Ullman secures the Indians' first touchdown of the game. Ganado was the better defensive team, which was made clear in this triple overtime play, which sees Bryce Ullman in the two-point conversion, with an interception. Ganado has never experienced an overtime game, but thankfully the Indians was prepared.
And going to overtime if that's what it takes. And if we had to make the decision again, it'd be the same decision. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, it just wasn't meant to be. It was meant to go to overtime. But Joe's done a great job all year. He did a great job going out and making that extra point in overtime, which if he wouldn't have made that, obviously the result would have been different.
The Indians went on to win the game, securing their first ever state championship game. Final score, 28-30. Now make sure you tune in tomorrow as we hear from the players who were a crucial part in the state championship game. Ray Robinson, KAVU TV 25 News Now, Sports.
All right, Ray. So again, after the game, Ganado gang celebrated, hosting up the championship trophy there with Josh Irvin there. And again, it was awesome to see that with the team because also some awards were out too. The offense MVP went there to quarterback Bryce Ullman, and the defensive MVP went to Kane Hayden there in the game, who also had 2 touchdown receptions as well to help Ganado get the win there to win their first state title there in history. And again, later on, we'll see if we can get anything else there production-wise there. Maybe we can see if we get anything when they arrive. We'll have to keep you tuned there. 25 News Now there at 10. And quickly they are going in for Shawna there yesterday. They played in the 2A Division II state championship facing the Munster Hornets there. They were trying to look to get their 5th state title, and again, opening to start the game there for Shawna. It went back and forth both ways, but Munster started off quickly. They got a touchdown there from Kason Carney, and again, for the Hornets, they get up big. Then how about Carson Schutte though? He did a nice play, nice little throw here, right there to Jarvis Williams, all the way to the end zone. This game went back and forth all the way, but the final score in this one would turn out being Munster would win 36-29 there over Shawna there last night. So again, looking at it though here, Don and Shawna, we had one of our teams, right, we just talked about it there, in Ganado getting the job done, winning their first title there in state history, and then Shawna just a little too close to call there last night. But again, props up to Ganado, and still great season there for Shawna there last night playing against the Munster Hornets. But that's all there in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Max. And once again, congratulations to the state champion, Ganado Indians. Yeah. We're back in a moment. Hey, scientists in Virginia are putting rats behind the wheel to help researchers better understand human behavior.
Rats on the road. We're not talking about an infestation. We mean behind the wheel driving. A lab at the University of Richmond in Virginia has rats driving to help researchers better understand human behavior. Scientists there started teaching the rats to drive 6 years ago while studying how their brains respond to certain stimuli. The reward at the end of the road? Fruit Loops.
It's always a good
I don't
award.
know. I mean, they're pretty tasty.
Hey, we had state championship kind of weather.
Oh,
around
absolutely.
here today.
Congratulations,
Great.
Ganado. Good stuff. Well, they were up in the Dallas area, right? And
Yes,
they,
yes.
even they had spectacular weather for today. It'll be nice and chilly tomorrow morning when you head out the door, but it'll warm up nicely, and that's our pattern through the weekend. Clouds return to the region by Monday and Tuesday with a little possible light rain or drizzle, but then it clears up just in time for Christmas morning. That's going to be good. Working good.
All right. Thank you, Mac. Thanks for joining us.
Be sure to join us back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.